Hi, my name is Jenny.
And my name's Eury.
And it's 2022, halfway through. The year of feeling at home, and it's the year of the bunny rabbit, at least for us here on the Conscious Cuppa podcast.
Hello, Brew Crew. Welcome back. It's season 3, episode 4 already. And we've got a question for you. What has going to a festival, popping down the shops, and getting married got to do with bunny rabbits?
Those furry friends, they're here to help us discover pronoia. That's the universe trying its best to help you out. It's going to support you from A to Z. It's going to help you get that thought into a thing, from wanting it to having it, from the desire all the way through to the fulfillment.
Over the course of 13 episodes, we'll be discovering the mind-blowing roadmap that works 24/7. So whether you need a new home, wonderful job, finances, friends, or an intimate relationship, it's working all the time.
Whether you want to reconnect with your inner, deep, highest ideals, your inner child, and perhaps you just want a bar of chocolate or a particular brand of biscuits.
I know the ones I like.
Yes, the Bunny Rabbit solution has a tip for you.
We really love hearing from you, so please keep sending in your beautiful mugshots. Send your answers, questions and suggestions on Twitter at Conscious Cuppa or email us consciouscuppa@gmail.com. That's CONSCIOUSCUPPA.
And check out our YouTube channel if you're not there already, and Spotify, where we have a poll for you to take part in, a yes or a no. And you can check out the links in the description. That's going to help you understand more about Fibonacci. Don't get scared of that word. Fibonacci, the spiral. That's going to help also with law of attraction and how imagining creates reality.
So Brew Crew, stay tuned till the end of the show for the Akan Easter egg and get yourself some Ghanaian wisdom. But for now, we invite you to grab a pew. Grab a pew. You can grab a pew, take a seat, take up a brew. So grab a brew, take a pew, and let's make the impossible come true.
What have we got in the teapot today?
We've got some beautiful Fort Mason tea from Nikki, one of the listeners. And that's
Hello, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki. And that's from Fortman Mason. She took a little trip there recently for her Canadian cousins to grab them a brew.
A brew. So you're gonna give us a pour. So right now it looks like normal tea.
It does quite look like normal tea actually. It's a little bit redder, I think.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a taste.
Slightly orangey, I think.
It's got a sweetness to it, hasn't it? You didn't put anything in it.
I didn't put
just a tea base.
Just the tea. That's it.
Okay, that's quite nice.
That's very refreshing, I've got to say.
I like it. I could definitely drink this without honey.
Yeah, nothing. Don't need anything.
Doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
But you did put 2 bags in that pot.
I did. It's a big pot though.
Yeah.
I figured out what the tea tastes like, Jen.
What does it taste like?
Tastes like honeysuckle.
I've never tasted. Well, maybe I am tasting honeysuckle.
So
we've
when
lost the box, right?
So when you get, when I was a kid, you pick the flower off the honeysuckle, like vine, and suck the end of it, and it's got like a slightly honey taste.
Yeah.
And so that's what this tea tastes like. I wonder if it's made of. I want to know now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look that up.
Nikki, is it honeysuckle?
We can look it up.
Yeah.
We hope you've got something wonderful in your glass, your cup, your flask.
Cheers.
So here's what we're going to do. This season we're going to be sharing the roadmap. If you listened into episode 1, you got the overview. If you haven't listened into episode 1, go back and listen to episode 1. You'll get the overview. This roadmap, it works 24 hours a day. It works 7 days a week. It's like a big Tesco, except it works all day Sunday. So no matter whether you're rich or poor, whether you're good or bad, whether you're happy or sad, and whether you know it's working or not, it's working.
Even when you're sleeping.
Even when you're sleeping.
It's a pattern and an unfolding spiral that's called the Fibonacci sequence. And it's the beauty in the ocean wave, the majesty of the cosmos, the design of a winding shell, and it's reflected in us. Every human being shaping and defining our physical bodies. Nature builds this path with you to lift you out of want and pain and into ease and delight.
We got 7 obvious steps to travel on that spiritual path, and each of those is numbered according to that Fibonacci sequence from 0 to 13, as well as 7 other hidden ones. And we're going to look at their original meanings, and then we're going to let them tell us this unfolding story. Each of those numbers symbolises a chapter of the story, and each chapter lets you know where you are along the path and what to do next to proceed to succeed.
Brilliant. The story begins whenever you have an idea. So this idea comes to you, maybe as a need, a wish, a want, a dream, and it's always a gift to your heart and mind, helping you discover the creative power that we each have within us. On this podcast, we'll be looking at challenging ideas, needs and dreams that may seem impossible to achieve, and how to accomplish the goals on the journey into the forbidden unconscious realms of possibility.
So once you get inside that forbidden forest, that's when the invisible work begins. That's when you create a new reality for yourself to experience as a gift to yourself. And then wait. Really, really wait until
Pop!
Out of the blue, you encounter your dream. It's come true. The thoughts arrived. It's something in your physical world. And the idea has produced an event, an object, even an encounter with a person.
Before you go any further, we'd like to ask you to take a look around you. Can you see an object that was made, that wasn't once only imagined? Big, small, large, tall, all ideas follow the path of growth from thought to thing in your very own human imagination. Your ideas are no exception, so pick one and let's get into the lift of life.
It's time for Magic Minute, and that's the time it goes up 13 floors for us to discover everything we can say about this week's step, which is step number 1. We had 01 last week.
Yeah.
And this week is just the number 1. No 0 in front of that. 01 was the gift. This week's number 1
is entertaining.
So this is all about, well, we won't say because we're in the lift, and we're going to go down first with Roger's Thesaurus. I discovered a copy of this in a charity shop for a squid, £1. I didn't realise that this Thesaurus was written originally in 1805.
Wow.
And the copy I've got is from 1852. So that's 170 years old. And it's not like the modern thesauruses. You can't just kind of flick through to entertain. You have to look up the word entertain at the back in the index. And then it's got all these various sections where entertain is mentioned throughout the whole dictionary. So it's unlike...
I quite like that, actually.
That's why I want to use it, because it really makes you have to search. You have to really get in there. So we're no longer going to be using the online dictionary, and we're no longer going to be using my big fat Collins dictionary. We're going to stick to Roger.
Roger. Is it French?
Well, I always thought it was Roger's Thesaurus, but it's Roget. It's either Roger or it's Roget.
I think I'll go with Roget.
Okay, Roget's Thesaurus.
Oh no, it sounds terrible.
Doesn't it? Roger. Roger. Okay, so let's put a minute on the timer.
I'm on it.
And the lift doors are closing now. So Roger's Thesaurus, on one section we have wait on.
Wait on. Interesting.
Yeah. Take care of. We have keep in sight. Eury's writing these down furiously. You can probably hear the paper suffering under her pen. We have recognise. We have labour of love.
Of course, I like that one.
We have raise a smile.
I like that one as well.
We have receive with open arms. And then I'm going to give you 2 strange ones. Smooth the bed of death. You can put these both under the same thing.
Okay.
Smooth the bed of death and be the death of one. Now, these aren't accurate descriptions because they're kind of within a section relating to each other. But these were kind of all around the same bit. These descriptions are really good for what we're going to be talking about when we get to the 10-minute section.
I'm not getting it.
But I don't get the smooth the bed of death.
No. I think you better go back to Roger and ask him some more questions, mate.
Well, let's see. Maybe it will come to us while we deliberate it a bit further into the episode. But for now, let's put the minutes back on the clock, and we're gonna go up.
Yeah.
In the lift of
and
life.
We're gonna discuss.
We're gonna brainstorm.
Yeah. What we think entertain means.
Not just the word entertain,
but in accordance to.
But also, in accordance with what we understand about
the Fibonacci
this roadmap.
one.
And the lift doors are closing now. So when I think of entertain, I think I might have said this before, you're entertaining angels.
Oh, I like that.
So this idea that they come and visit you and you sit down and you feed them.
Nice.
So nourishment was one of the ideas. Nourishment and sustaining, so sustenance. So both of those are about feeding this idea that came through as a gift.
And I definitely think it's about feeding your ideas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to write ideas on the side there because I like that.
Okay. I think making jolly. So making jolly is like, you're really enjoying this idea that's come to you at 01. It came in, it popped into your head, and you're really enjoying the idea of it. You fancy it a bit. Yeah?
I'm going to... Yeah.
Oh, that was quick.
That was quick.
What was there? Is there one more?
I think entertain is to welcome and...
Yes.
Invite.
I'm going to go back to Roger. He's got quite a few, so I'm going to pick one from there. Cause or produce laughter.
Oh, I like that.
I like that too. We hope you've been shouting out at your device some suggestions for us. And if you've got any suggestions that you think we missed, pop it in an email with one of your beautiful mugshots, or send us a direct message on Twitter, and we will expand on what we've come up with. But we will be putting up this brainstorm map, this mind map that Eury's created.
Yeah, it'll be part of the video.
Definitely.
Lovely. Now we've got 10 minutes.
10 minutes on the clock.
And we're going to talk about everything to do with number 1.
With this step.
Yeah.
So we're still quite at the beginning. We did go through on the previous episode about number 13, what happens at the end.
Yeah.
So we know where we're heading with this idea. You know, if whatever idea you took into the lift, you kind of know where it's going to head. That's number 13, and that's in episode 3.
Yes.
This episode, we're going to look, okay, this is where we're heading. This is where we get to.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, we need to get cozy with this idea.
Oh, I like that. Entertain, get cozy.
Yeah, well, Roger did say give a warm welcome.
Yeah.
Warm reception, rather. So I think
I'm going to add the warm to welcome and invite.
Yeah.
I like that because that adds an additional je ne sais quoi to it.
To Roger.
To Roger.
Roget.
That's my 2, Roger and je ne sais quoi are my 2 French phrases.
Let's get 10 minutes on the clock. It's on?
Yeah. So, Jenny, tell us a bit about this number 1, this beginning, this...
So we're still in kind of virgin territory, let's put it that way. We had the 01 right at the beginning, where the idea comes to us. It pops into our head.
Yeah.
It's basically saying, I know you need this. And you're saying, yes, I need this, or no way, I do not want that. In which case it goes back to the zero, it goes back into the nothingness. But if you like this idea, if it seems like it might work...
I don't think it's about if it might work.
It might work.
I think it's about whether it's useful, if it's helpful, if it's loving.
Well, that includes that, surely. If you've got this idea, I will take this further.
Yes.
Because as we go further along the path, it's going to get deeper and deeper into the idea. But right now, we're still with the ox. We're still with number 1, Aleph. So rather than 0, 1, now we're keeping the idea. And to keep the idea, we are entertaining that idea. And to entertain is to welcome it in and say, I like you, sit down, have something to eat. I'm going to fatten this idea up.
What I'm imagining is a friend that
Yes.
you really like.
Yes.
You've bumped into somebody and you really like them.
Well, let's remember it's a gift.
Yes.
So if you treat the gift like a friend that's come to help you,
Yes.
then you've bumped into them. And in a sense, you could even think, okay, there are 2 oxes now. You've got 1 plus 1. And these are going to be yoked together to plant this seed. When we talked in episode 2 about the idea is a seed that's going to produce a fruit.
Yeah.
You need the ox in order to plant the seed.
Yes.
So you're ploughing this fertile soil, that you're preparing everything
Yeah.
for you to get that fruit, for you to plant that seed, for it to be watered, for you to have faith in it, for you to not get too anxious and pull it up. But right now we're still at the beginning. We're still at that point where, yes, this is a gift. This is a friend that is coming to your house, coming to your life and says, I want to give you this thing, even if it is just that pack of biscuits. But it could be a lot more.
Friends that are out there, I'm happy with the biscuits, man. I had some biscuits at my leaving do recently. It was lovely.
It's funny you mentioned biscuits, because Neville Goddard, who we are going to be referring to throughout this season, he had the situation, he had a dream in which he had this skinny pig. And the pig represents Christ, which is your awakened imagination, which is your humanity imagining. And the pig was so skinny, and he was instructed to feed it, because a pig should be fat, right? So he fed it crackers, which is a kind of biscuit.
Basically a biscuit, yeah.
Yeah. In order to feed your Christ self, your imagination, you need to imagine.
Yeah.
You need to take in ideas and transform them from the thought to a thing. You've got to exercise this talent, this gift, this faculty that you have. Not even a faculty, because it's who we are. We're all imagination. So you've got to exercise it. So you've got to fatten up these ideas.
So this your imagination's your innate talent. Everybody's got it. It's running anyway. And what we're saying is, in order for it to bring you to the fruition, you need to feed it.
And you feed it by imagining.
And your awareness of it.
To exercise your imagination is like exercising your muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't exercise your body, it's not going to be quite as fine-tuned.
It's a bit lethargic.
Yeah, it's not quite
and
beach
sluggish.
ready.
Yeah, beach ready.
Stop the podcast. It's time for a Neville Nugget.
Oh, I love it.
We got numbers from... I should really rearrange these numbers, because eventually I'm going to have to say, don't pick this and don't pick this and don't pick this. Okay, pick a number from 1 to 17.
12.
12. Neville says, when you attain the control of the internal direction of your attention... Attention? This is good. When you attain the control of the internal direction of your attention, you will no longer stand in shallow water, but launch out into the deep of life.
Oh, that's really got me thinking. I'm going to take a picture of that one.
When you attain the control of the internal direction of your attention, very number 1, you will no longer stand in shallow water, but launch out into the deep of life.
Nice.
Okay. On with the podcast. entertaining these angels. Angels are messages from God. They're ideas. They're gifts. So when you entertain an angel, you bring it into your home. You're saying, I like you and I would like to take this further.
I think also entertainment and entertaining has a certain vibration, doesn't it? And we've got some really beautiful words: warm, jolly, sustenance, nourishment. These are all taken care of. These are all very loving, joyful, helpful feelings and thoughts. So when you're imagining and you're with this seed, it's about being really happy and joyful around this seed, because that's your light feeling.
You're giving this idea, I think, attention. You know, it's like you're a host to this idea, and it needs your focus, and it's saying it in a way: stop focusing on the thing you don't want,
yes,
and start focusing on the thing that you do want. So, for example, if you're hungry, the idea is going to be, I need something to eat. Yeah, and then you're going to start thinking about what it is I might eat. You cease being focused on the fact that you're hungry and start being focused on what you're going to feed yourself.
This idea of this delicious meal, this delicious snack.
And obviously when we go into number 2, we'll talk about what happens next. But right now, this is all about kind of almost like doubling that idea, doubling the energy you've given that idea. You had 0, 1, now you got 1. You're kind of doubling it. You're folding it again.
Yeah.
You're making it more.
So I think we've got some more words here. So do you recognise this idea as something you do want? Is it going to raise a smile within you, on your face?
Yeah.
You know, and are you going to welcome it with open arms? Are you going to receive it? Are you going to say, yes, come in? You know, just like we were saying with a friend.
So this is the attitude towards it. I mean, we did talk about that when we done the 0, 1, to treat it as a gift. Now it's not just like, oh God, I got this present, because you could get the present, take it home, leave it in the bag, leave it in a corner, and don't open it, and don't enjoy the idea of the present, you know, or the present that is the idea. You might just like, you kind of forget about it, right? But it's still in your room, as it were.
So I think that is definitely giving it the attention and saying, this, you know, this gift, you didn't earn it, you know.
It's not a reward.
It's not a reward. So
there's no strings attached.
Absolutely. There's no you didn't have to be good to get it, which is great.
Yeah. And I think maybe one of the last things we could talk about with regard to this one is that this is the time when you kind of you characterize what it is. It's like, okay, so the example would be the food. Okay, so I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, now what do I want to eat? Yeah. So I've got this idea, I'm going to get some food. Do I get a takeout? Do I look in the fridge and see what's there? Do I does my favourite meal pop into my head? Yeah,
maybe you just sit for a moment. So I've been really sit and feeling my feelings recently. And often, especially in the bath is the greatest place for me.
Yeah.
And then an idea will pop into my head and I'll be like, oh, that's the thing.
Yes.
That's because I'm nice and relaxed. I'm very receptive when I'm in the bath.
Yeah.
I'm nice and warm and cosy. I feel looked after. I feel nourished. You know, and that's where it comes in.
So with your idea that you have, listener,
Brew Crew,
what is this idea? How would you name it? How would you characterize it? You can't always do this because it might just be the feeling that you have about it. But then what is the feeling that you have about it? And this warm welcome, that's hopefully going to kind of set the scene. It's like a warm-up DJ. It's going to set the scene for the rest of the journey. So what are you packing now into this bag that we're going on along this path with? Think about that with your idea that you took into the lift of life, this thing that you really, really want. Now we're going to concentrate on that rather than the lack of that thing.
Yeah.
Or the loss that you experienced before that. Now we're just going to focus entirely on the thing that you do want.
Lovely.
How much time have we got left?
Oh, 13, 12. 11.
Okay. So other words that I've got here are encouragement, investing rather than spending.
Yeah.
So we're building this. But going back to entertaining this gift of God, the disciple would be Matthew.
Okay. Maybe you want to look that up.
Yeah.
Lovely. So next week's episode, Jenny,
Is going to be number 2.
Number 2.
Episode 5 is number 2, which is all about the house, which is the word bait in the Hebraic language. So it's all about accommodating this idea. You've had the idea pop into your life. You're treating it as a friend that has come to visit, a good friend.
Friend you really like.
Not an annoying friend. It's a good friend that's come. Can this friend stay in your house?
Yeah.
With all your current rules and regulations about what is allowed and what is not allowed, is this gift, this idea, going to be able to flourish in this house? Or are you going to have to go on a journey into the back of beyond? So, this idea that you've got, Brew Crew, hold on to it. Because we're going to get into probably the hardest step of this path. Number 2. Can the walls of your house take it? So before we go, we're going to get back in the lift of life. And we're going to put a minute on the clock. You got that, Eury?
I have.
Okay. We're going to go back into the lift of life and we're going to do another touch exercise. This touch exercise is going to be about taste. The lift doors are closing now.
So we're going to go into our imagination, close our eyes, and we're going to use our imaginary taste buds, our tongue, our mouth, and what are the flavours that you are experiencing? Are they tangy? Are they sweet? Are they salty? Are they sour? How are they feeling? Is it warm or cold?
What's the texture?
Yeah.
Is it a drink? Is it a liquid? Is it solid? Is it crispy?
Chewy?
Buttery?
Ooh.
Well, we'll leave you to it for a few seconds so you can get into that taste.
Okay.
If you've got that taste, hold it in your memory now. And what would happen next, Eury?
So then, in the here and now, in the objective world, you're going to have that experience. I got something that came in really strong.
I got crispy. That was the texture for me, crispy.
So I got chewy.
But I'm not sure if it's going to be sweet or sour or savoury.
I know
or
exactly.
Whatever.
I know it's definitely going to be very tangy and very sour, and it's chewy.
But you don't know what it is.
No.
That will be the surprise.
I do like a surprise.
Send in your results. Well, we'll find out in a couple of weeks. You can email us, consciouscuppa@gmail.com, or you can send us a tweet on Twitter @consciouscuppa. That's CONSCIOUSCUPPA. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, everyone, Brew Crew and all.
Thank you for joining us on this journey.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you, Brew Crew, for waiting till the end of the show. Thank you so much. We have an Akan Easter egg for you. Eury, I do think it's your turn.
Oh, let's see. When you are sitting in your own house, you don't learn anything. You must get out of your house to learn. Wow, that's for next week, isn't it?
That's definitely for next week. That's preparing us for next week.
I love it.
We'll see you then.
See you then.